Hello and welcome back to my F1 League Racing series. We are here for the US GP, and if you have missed any of the previous rounds, go check them out with the card annotation in the top right hand corner of your screens. But this is how things look after 9 rounds of the championship, after the Belgian GP. Last time out, and we are currently 4th in the drivers' standings, quite a way off of the championship leader. That drivers' championship looking less and less likely at the moment, but the constructors is a different story. We are very strong for that one at the moment. Got a very good lead in the Constructors' Championship over the Aston Martin team. We'll be looking to hold on to that over the next couple of races. But let's now head into this race here in Austin, Texas. And of course, as always, we're going to be getting on with the qualifying lap. So crossing the line and starting our lap, and pretty even on the opening of our best lap time so far. So down in towards turn 1, braking at that white line and just missing the apex ever so slightly. Loses us a little bit of time, but we do get a better exit off the corner than we have done previously. Now really open up these fast S's section to take the maximum speed possible through these corners. Cut it back for a late apex on that corner. A little snap of the rear end as we're completely matching our best times so far in qualifying. Taking as much curb as possible there. Is a really dirty lap so far. The back end stepping out all over the place, showing that we're just not quite comfortable with the setup that we are using at the moment. Fighting the car at every corner, and once again at the hairpin. That time though, because I took way too much curb on the inside of the corner. You can see my face. I'm a little bit disappointed with this lap so far, because it could definitely have been a 3/10 lap time improvement, which would have been absolutely fantastic. Now breaking down into the left-hander, taking all the curb you can get away with and allowing the car to run out wide through there. Now through into this stadium section part. We're about 10th up at the moment. Brake late, turn late in, and try and meet that apex, which we do not do. So once again, it's not been the cleanest of laps. There's so much time left to find in this qualifying session. Unfortunately, this is the last lap we're going to be able to get in. Throw the car through this left-hander. Almost taking too much curb there on the inside. It's only going to be a slight improvement here in qualifying by just about half a tenth there. And it is enough to keep us in 8th position. But as you can see, so much more time was on the cards. We definitely could have maybe scraped into the top 7, top 6 had we have got a clean lap in. But that's just the way qualifying goes. You know, you've got to get it nailed. You've got to have the car on rails through the qualifying session, and we just did not. But this is how the weather is going to work, as we've got a lovely screenshot of my face in the startup menu. So we're going to go soft, medium. But we're probably going to turn that into a one-stop strategy. We just have to wait and see how the race goes. But the lights are coming on now. The engines are roaring, and we are racing here for the US GP. And it's a fairly good start once again for myself, as Zafso gets a better second stage of the start. We have this really big open space on the inside of turn 1, as we say, all right, thank you very much everybody. Sandy Baggy opening that door for us, and that had a fantastic start as well, moving up into P5. We're up in a P7 for the time being, now settling behind MBS and Smowley, who is obviously the Aston Martin and McLaren. Of course, the Aston Martin, we would like to beat Smowley in this race, and obviously it's up to Marken to be beating DM Guy in the race, and that is going to be a way that we can try and catch up to those guys. Not catch up, but extend our lead, actually, in the Constructors' Championship, because we're already winning that one. But we want to get that one as soon as possible, so it's something that we don't have to worry about anymore. But so far, a good initial first lap. We have settled in P7, and we're just following in this train for the time being, as we are going to look maybe on MBS. We go to the end of lap 1 now. Sandy Baggy way out of shape there on the entry into this fast left-hander. Sort of squeezes MBS out wide, but not really too much of an option, as we get so held up there into the apex of the corner. That allows Helium a really easy overtake on us. He's now on the left-hand side, going down into the hairpin of turn 1. MBS also trying to overtake Sandy Baggy down into that corner as well. We go for a wide line and try and have a little look around the outside, but Helium places his car perfectly. There is no chance for us to go for an overtake around the outside there, and Helium moves himself up into P7, which is a little bit frustrating. Not really too much we could have done as we just got really backed up there by Sandy Baggy and the McLaren of MBS, so nothing we could have really done, but now him going on the attack of the McLaren at the moment, side by side, down in towards this left-hander. They're actually going 3 wide into the left-hander. Helium swooping around the outside of both of them. Sandy Baggy not giving up without a fight, though. We're going to try and open this up and try and see if we can maybe get the McLaren here, running it around the outside through the right-hander. Sandy Baggy really pushed out wide there. We're going to try again to see if we can go up the inside of MBS. It's wheel-to-wheel between the two of us. And as anticlimactic as it can be, we get a game crash at the worst time we possibly could have gotten one. We're back in the lobby, back in the session, and we're going to be retaking over the car as we head down into the left-hander. And unfortunately, it has lost us out where we were fighting for P5, P6, P4. We're now fighting for P12 in this race, which is very frustrating. Lap 4, we've been put on the back foot. We had such a great start, and now we've got to do it all over again as we're at the back of this train. But we're going to catch up to Peruna in the Haas car. Obviously, he's on medium tyres, so we'll be looking to get this overtake done as soon as we possibly can. But of course, it's going to get to a stage where those medium tyres are better than our softs. And perfect timing for us. The safety car has been deployed in this session. So we're going to come into the pits on lap 6 out of 28. Going on to what we want to go on to is medium tyres and try and run this all the way till the end of the session. Is what we're going to try and do here as we come into the box. And the team have got a set of soft tyres ready, which is Jeff thinking he knows best and changing our strategy despite the fact we literally had the menu up with medium tyres selected. So on lap 7, we've got to come into the pits again. We've got to utilise this safety car period. We were in like 12th position anyway. We're only going to lose a handful of places. It does mean we're going to the back of the grid. But it's just going to make things more exciting. We've got to cut back through the field now and try and get into the points, because we're on a point streak. We've scored points in every single race we have competed in PPR. So we need to make sure that we keep that point streak on form at the moment. So dropping down into P17 for the time being. We've got Tim, who's a bit faster on soft tyres behind us. 256 ahead. It's a terrible initial safety car restart, but everybody again just slows down into the last corner, so we just catch back up. I'm not really too sure what is going on with TJD here, so we just overtake him. I wasn't sure when I was allowed to overtake him, but he was just going slowly on the inside, and we were losing the rest of the pack, so I just thought if there's penalties going to come my way, let it. He was going ridiculously slowly. I think he had a collision with 256 and was just kind of done with the race after that point. Yeah, unfortunate for TJD, but we do get the overtake on him and move ourselves up into P17 as we've got Smowley, one of our rivals, going slowly there, being caught up in an instant. He's dropped down into P16 now. We're up into P15, 256 with 9 seconds of time penalties so far, and we're only on lap 10 out of 28. That's nearly a second penalty for every single lap we've done, as 256 now going for a big lunge up the inside of Max Duca. A bit of a huge lunge, forcing Max out wide. Almost gives us the opportunity to go for the overtake, but now we're on the outside. It's not really going to happen. We don't have the traction to hold it around the outside. We could have a look on the inside through the corner, and that we do. We switch it back, have a look on the inside, but once again, Max Duca, better traction, better line, just opens up that wheel and allows him to get the power down a lot earlier, and that holds P14 for him. We have to settle for P15 for the time being, but now maybe looking on 256. We could break so much later than Max down into the hairpin, and so we try around the outside. Max not giving us a lot of room, but we're just about going to keep our nose in there, and now heading wheel to wheel into the SS section. We back out of it. There's no need to go side by side through here. Either you're going to lose a heap of time, or you're going to come together and that's your race done, which is two things I don't want to do. So we back out of that. We allow Max to go on the attack of 256, just see if we can maybe pick something off between these two coming together. But unfortunately, while they are fighting, that's allowing Tim to come back into the fold. He's on the soft tyres, so we're just going to let him pass for the time being, because he has to stop once again in this race. There's no need for me to battle him, because I'm going to get that place back later. So I'm going to let him fight Max, fight 256, and just see what happens between the three of them and see if we can maybe pick off a free position as Tim goes through. And look, Max Duca letting his teammate through, and now we're going to try and go around the outside, but then there's contact between the two Alfa Romeos. We're sort of on the optimal line into the S's section, but Tim doesn't want to give it up. He goes side by side, so we back out of it again, just because, like I said earlier, there's no point risking it through this section. We're going to lose a lot of time. We're going to get damage. We don't want that. I was kind of hoping that Tim would be the one to yield, but then again, it kind of makes more sense that I'm the one to yield. He's on the softer tyres, and he can just go for it as Safso, another one of my championship rivals, not having a good race here today. He has been caught up in some sort of incident on lap 12 of this race, and that is going to move me up into P14 for the time being. We can potentially sniff some points in this race. We're getting towards the halfway stage at the moment, as Max Duca lets through Tim now, and without any contact this time between the two of them, as Flying Whale, another driver who's been caught up in an incident. He's on the soft tyres, and I'm up in a P13, and that now means that 256 is holding that last points paying position in this race, as he's getting really aggressive right now with Tim as they go down in towards the right hand, in towards the left-hander on the end of this DRS straight. We're going to have a look around the outside of Max Duca. Max forces us off the track. Tim loses the back end, takes out 256. Flying Whale comes through, goes side by side with Max Duca. We gain 2 positions, we lose 1. These two coming together as well. We're going to try and go for a switchback move on Max Duca. Flying Whale losing the back end ever so slightly. Trying to have a look now around the outside of the long right-hander here in USA, and we're going to have to settle now for P12 as Max Duca holds the position for the time being. But that was a chaotic sequence of corners, and that is Tim and 256 losing a lot of positions. I mean, they were very, very aggressive with each other. I'm not really too sure who was at fault or what on earth they were doing up there, but I'm not going to complain because it allowed me to get an easy overtake, and now we're going to go on the attack of Max Duke. We've got much more battery than he has. His red light was flashing. He brakes a little bit later than me in towards the left-hander, but I'm going to give him a taste of his own medicine and just sort of squeeze him out on the outside of the corner. I gave him just enough room to keep his wheels on the tarmac though, but yeah, just squeeze him out on the outside because he did that to me earlier. So, you know, what goes around comes around in racing, and we're now going to go on the attack of Flying Whale in the Haas car. He is on the soft tyres, but we're feeling a bit better at this stage. I think those softs has kind of burnt themselves out, and that's going to allow me to fly past Flying Whale and move up into P10. So we're into the points once again, so this is good. This is good recovery so far in this race. We've got a driver ahead. I believe that is Max O'Connor, and it is. He is coming into the pit lane. I think he maybe got damage. He was losing quite a lot of positions, and he comes into the pit. So that promotes me up into P9, which is really good. So far, a solid race. I mean, forget the game crash and the incident at the start with the pit stop, but nevertheless, we now move ourselves up into P8 in this race as a couple of other drivers come into the pit lane. And if you look ahead of us, there is a lot of time penalties on the board. We've got MBS with 6 seconds, Sandy Baggy with 3 seconds, and I believe Ox is ahead of them two with about 12 seconds of time penalties. Peruna behind also has a 3-second time penalty, and he's on the soft tyres, so he goes up the inside into the hairpin. We just allow him that overtake. Like I said before, there's no need to fight these drivers. They've got a time penalty. He can pull me along to the rest of the field. Our tyre wear is looking atrocious at this point. 73% worn on the fronts as we're going to come around the final corner now. The tyres are just about going to make it. We're going to cross the line, and it is going to remain P9, but there is definitely some sort of technical glitch going on, which in the end promotes me to 6th place for the USGP, taking home 8 points, which now means that we are still holding on to 4th in the Drivers' Championship. 69 points off of the title. I think that has gone for this season. But in the Constructors, things are looking solid. We are 68 points, about 62 points now ahead of Aston Martin with 4 rounds left to go. That is going to do though for this race. Join me next time. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and I will see you for round 11. Until then, it's goodbye from me.